Using freelancer sites such as Upwork, Fiverr, FreeUp, all of those sorts of freelancer websites can be a really, really good and quick way of finding virtual assistant clients. However, these sites have definitely got their pros and their cons, and I wanted to go through each of those with you in this video in order to help you make a decision as to whether or not these sites are a good way of finding your own virtual assistant clients. Now, if you don't already know how I am, my name is Dion. I am a virtual manager and virtual assistant mentor. This is my pug Molly, and we are here to help you to be the best virtual assistants you can be, building successful and sustainable businesses. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do so for weekly videos. Okay guys, so I'm gonna jump straight into the pros of these freelancer websites. Now, if you are just thinking about becoming a virtual assistant, but you're not quite sure whether you are ready to commit so much time, energy, and possibly money into building your business, then these freelance websites are an amazing way of just testing out the waters, because you don't need a strong social media presence. You don't need to be showing up every day with videos and captions. You can just simply go onto these websites each day and apply to jobs that tickle your fancy, basically. So freelance websites can be a brilliant way of testing the waters. And another pro to these websites is that you could find clients pretty quickly. Now, I know that there are many virtual assistants out there who decide that it's definitely something they want to do, but it might actually take them quite a bit longer than they'd expected to find clients. It might be because they haven't nailed their strategy yet, they're not sure what their niche is, and it could be a wide range of different things. But these freelance websites can help you to find clients quicker, which in turn can help you get testimonials quicker as well, which will then enable you to really, really build and grow your business. So that's definitely the second pro, is that, and you're not guaranteed to do this, by the way, but these sites can make it possible to find clients a little bit quicker. So I would definitely say that the two biggest pros to these freelance websites is, number one, they can really help you to just test out the waters if you're not quite sure yet whether being a virtual assistant is really for you. And number two, they could potentially help you to find clients a lot quicker, which could help you get those all important testimonials, which could enable you to really, really work on growing your new virtual assistant business. Unfortunately, these websites do have their fair share of downsides, and I just wanted to make you guys clear on these so it will enable you to make a decision as to whether or not you think these sites are going to be good for you. Now, the first biggest downside of these websites are the low rates. Most virtual assistants are charging as little as possible just because they are just desperate to get any work, and most clients who visit these websites are only prepared to pay the cheapest prices possible, okay? So if you are expecting to get paid, say, £30–35 an hour, don't be surprised if you find it quite difficult to find clients using these websites, okay? Because like I said, many of the people who visit these websites and who hire from them are only prepared to pay peanuts. The second biggest downside of these websites is that competition is bloody fierce. Don't be surprised to apply for a job and see that 50 or even more people have already applied to exactly the same job. And usually in these instances, when so many people have applied to a single job, the client will usually end up going for one of the cheapest. So again, it ends up being a race to the bottom, which is not ideal. Now, the third big thing to consider is that these websites are going to be taking a chunk out of your earnings. That's right. Upwork, for example, will take 20% of everything you earn. So not only are you more than likely going to be charging lower rates in order to just get some clients, but once you get paid from those clients, Upwork is going to be taking another 20% of those earnings. So again, it's not really ideal, is it? Something else you really need to be aware of is that there are unfortunately a lot of scammers out there. It has been known, and I've heard it from several people personally as well, that there have been freelancers who have done work for customers and then the customers have just completely disappeared and they've not gotten paid. There are lots of people who use these websites to specifically scam freelancers, get free work, and they will just completely ghost them and disappear off these websites. Now, there's not really a 100% foolproof way of avoiding this. What I would suggest is that any potential clients you do get in touch with, or who do get in touch with you, chat with them on a video call first. Try and find out as much of them as possible. Is their business legit? Do they seem dodgy? Go with your gut feeling and just be careful. If something doesn't seem right, it's probably not. And another huge thing to remember here is that these websites, unfortunately, will tend to look after the employer or the client a lot more than the freelancer. So the employers and the clients tend to have a lot more protection, and yeah, they're just looked after a lot more than you. So for instance, if you do find yourself with one of these scammers, chances are you're going to be screwed. However, if a client complains about you, then again, you can be screwed, whether or not whatever the situation with was your fault. So just be mindful that these sorts of websites will always tend to look after the client more than they'll look after you. Okay guys, now the next one I wanted to save until last because it is so important. You really, really need to consider this, okay? Clients that you find from freelancer websites are always going to treat you differently than clients who find you via your social media and your website. And it's because when you apply to work for someone and you say you fill in your proposal, you have your interviews, it is very much kind of the same as applying to a 9-to-5 job. So that client is very much so going to have an employer mindset. They are then going to be so much more likely to treat you like an employee and not give you the same amount of respect that your other clients who find you will do. Now you may be thinking, well, that's not really a bad thing. I'm used to having a 9-to-5 job. I'm used to being treated like an employee. Hold on, this is not why you became a virtual assistant. This is your business and you deserve to be treated like it's your own business as well. You need to get out of that employee mindset. You deserve to be treated with the amount of respect a business owner should have, okay? Now the chances are that when you get clients, and I mean you might be lucky, you might get an awesome client, but the chances are when you find these clients from freelancer websites, it's going to feel like you're in a 9-to-5 job again. They are not going to give you the same amount of respect. I am talking about this from personal experience as well. When I first started my journey, I had a handful of clients from Upwork. 2 of them became clients who I had for a few months. The way they talked to me, the way they treated me compared to my other clients was just, it was so different. It was crap. Like, they were probably lovely people in real life, but because they had that employee mindset, they treated me like I was an employee. They didn't treat it like this was my virtual assistant business and it was a partnership, okay? You have to remember that as a virtual assistant, you are working with your clients, not for your clients. And clients that hire you from freelancer websites don't realize this, okay? So it's just something to be aware of. Your clients will be treating you differently. So as ever, I hope you found that video useful. I hope it's given you a little bit more clarity as to whether or not you want to use these freelancer websites to find clients. If you have any experience of using these sites, I would love to hear all about it. So please drop your comments below and I'll see you next week.